Hi everyone, I'm looking to part 4, so let's
well.
continue. And I'm going to
And now
have
it really does look very
a
squashed.
window.
And then colour it in. Now start by colouring it in a light colour to start with. And it's a good idea just to make sure that your outline is dry before you colour it in.
And I go free.
I'm alright because everything dries really quickly in my studio lights. So hot. And then when you've coloured all of those splats in the light colour, just take a darker colour and just go round the outside edge of all of those splats, just to make it look slightly 3D.
Here's pretty for you guys.
Look really
Do you love
splodgy.
Pringles? And raw and flavour.
And what this is doing really is just putting a shadow around the edge and making it look 3D. And now it really does look squashed. And then if you colour in the arms, legs and all the other little bits and pieces that you draw, cut it out, you will have something that looks like that. A squash thingy. Or you could try a different coloured squash thingy, like that. Or what about adding on some different features, like that squash thingy? And what do you do with them? Well, you place them somewhere so that they look as if they've been squashed. You can place them in your books. They make great bookmarks. You can cover them in sticky back plastic and squash them with your cup. Perfect to protect the furniture. You could even stick them on the back of your school file. Ouch. And what about this? Make some extra blobby bits, put some sticky tack on the back, carefully stick it to your window, and it looks as if he's flown into the window and really splattered. Try it yourself. A squash thingy. Ugh. Brilliant. And once you've made a squash thingy, you never know where it might turn up. Got it. Well, coming up, I've got some more excellent ideas to turn your pictures into something even more special, like these fantastic 3D effect pictures. Great 3D patterns. It's a sort of 3D wave that plays tricks on your eyes. Try this. Take a piece of paper and just draw some wavy lines running from top to bottom using a black pen or pencil. The idea is to just get those lines waving in any direction like that, and then draw some wavy lines going across the paper in the opposite direction like that. So when you've actually finished it, you've sort of created a wobbly checkered pattern like that. And then in each of those wobbly boxes, just draw a sort of wobbly X shape. It's a sort of wobbly cross really, isn't it, like that? And then another one in there like that, and go round all the boxes, just drawing wobbly crosses or wobbly X shapes, and do all the boxes in the same way. When you've finished, you'll have something that looks like that. And you notice I haven't done any wobbly crosses in the outside boxes. You'll see why in a minute. Then take a pencil or a crayon or a felt pen, any colour you like, but you must have two versions of the same colour, a darker version and a lighter version. I'm using blue. You can use anything you like, red, green, but you need two versions of the same colour. And then you need to take each of these boxes individually and colour in the two side triangles facing each other. Now do the first triangle with the darker version of your colour. So just colouring mine in with my blue. If you used green, you'd have dark green in this triangle. And then the other side triangle facing it, I'm going to do with my lighter blue, like that. And then the triangle at the top, I'm going to leave white. And that bottom triangle, I'm going to colour in with the black pen I used to draw the thing with in the first place. So I'll just repeat that for you. It's the two side triangles with a light and dark version of your colour. The top triangle is white and this bottom triangle is black. And do the same on all the wobbly boxes. The dark version of your colour, the light version, leave the top white and the bottom one is black. Go around all the boxes doing all the triangles in the same way, and when you're finished, it'll look like this. And you notice I haven't coloured any of these outside boxes in again. That's because you cut them off. And when you cut them off, you'd have something that looks like that. Look at that, a 3D wavy pattern. And to make it even more wavy, if you just
That is quite
roll
to be honest.
one of the sides gently, like that, not too tightly, and then roll the other side just to curve it up slightly, like that. And then if you take a piece of backing card or paper, any colour you like, but a good contrasting colour to your pattern, and then just place your 3D wavy pattern over the card, flip it over, put a couple of dabs of glue on, and then position it above your card, and before you press it down, just push the two side edges in like that, so you create a wave in the middle of your pattern, and then slam it down and trap it onto your backing paper. Oh, and the glue's stuck. There you have a 3D wavy pattern. And of course you could always experiment with different ways of sticking down your pattern onto your backing board. I've pushed the two side edges in a different direction on this one, and look at that wave in the middle. Hey, I've discovered a great way of making your artwork literally jump off the page. Crease the clothing. Come and have a look at this. Take a page of newspaper and on it draw a person, any person you like, in any shape you like. It can be a sports personality, it can be maybe a pop personality, but it's a good idea to just draw it in sausage shapes first, like this. I always do this, just to get the right position. And you can just make these adjustments as you go until you're happy with the shape. There it is, I'm just drawing a guy sort of dancing, in sort of dancing position. And when you're happy with the general shape, then put some clothes on your person. Now I'm going to put a baseball cap on, put it on backwards so he looks really trendy. If he's dancing, he could be in a disco, couldn't he? So I'll put his disco shirt on there. And maybe I'll put some shorts on him. Now hold on, you may be thinking, why has he got shorts on if he's in a disco? Well, maybe it's a hot and sweaty disco, or maybe it's a beach disco. And I think I'll put some socks on him down here like that, and some nice big trainers. And the great thing about using newspaper like this is you can just make these adjustments as you go in. It doesn't have to be neat, but just get a nice shape. And I think I'll just put a bit more detail on his fingers there, maybe on that side as well, like that. When you're happy with the general position and all the clothes, just cut all of these bits out. Now the idea is to cut all of the bits out separately so that you can use them as templates to draw around onto other different coloured pieces of paper. So okay, I'm going to try the shirt first. Now if it's a disco shirt, we need some disco-y paper, and I've got this scrap of wrapping up paper. There it is, and I've always got these scraps of wrapping up paper that I save over from Christmas, and you never know when you need them in a heart attack. And I'm just going to use this shirt that I drew on the newspaper as a template, just to draw around very roughly onto the wrapping up paper like that. And the idea is to cut that shape out so that you have something that looks like that. And I think I'll do the shorts. Maybe what I'll do is I'll use a comic for the shorts. They are quite comical, the shorts, aren't they? So I'll put onto an old comic I've got there, just put that newspaper pair of shorts. Actually, I wouldn't mind a pair of comic strip shorts myself. They'd look rather good, wouldn't they? Just draw around them like that, just roughly, and remove the newspaper, cut the shorts out, and you have something that looks like that. And the idea is to do the same with all of those bits of newspaper, just use them as templates to draw around on coloured paper and cut them out. Then take some PVA glue, you know, the white school glue that you get in the squidgy bottles. I'm always using this stuff. I think it's really versatile, this stuff. And then just brush it on to all of the individual pieces. I'm just doing this really quickly to show you. You can take a lot more time over it, do it a lot more neatly, and just brush it onto the top of the shirt and the shorts and all the bits of the body. And it looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but when you've done all the bits, if you just put them to one side and leave them to dry, do it separately though, so they don't all stick together. When they're dry, look what happens to the PVA glue. Yep, it goes all hard and stiff and shiny like that, and it gives it a really good finish, a good effect there. The problem is all these bits are still a little bit flat, so the only thing to do is crunch them up. Just crunch them up, put creases back into those clothing. Now I know you're probably sitting there going, oh no, he's just done that, now he's creasing it up. But it's a great effect. Just crunch them up and do the same with all the other bits, and just pull them up and crunch them up like that, and then separate them. And it's a good idea at this stage to put them onto a piece of thick paper or card as a backing card, any colour you like, something that looks good as a backing. And then it's just a case of piecing them back together again in the original shape, like a jigsaw. It's quite difficult to do this. It's quite difficult to grab them because they're all shapes, they're all sticking up. But don't flatten them because you get this great 3D effect there. That's it. He's back in his dance position now. Quite happy with that. When you're happy with the position, just glue it down. Put a couple of dabs of glue very loosely on the back of each piece. And whatever you do, when you're gluing them down, don't press them down. Otherwise, you'll flatten each piece and you'll lose the 3D effect. And look at that. It really does jump right off that backing board. And I've even added in some musical notes with felt tip pen. And see what I've done there? I've given him some tin foil shades. Try yourself. Creased art. Good effect, isn't it? And as I say, you can do any person you like. What about a sports personality there? Look at him all creased up, kicking the ball. Or how about a superhero? And look at the creases in that cape. And there she is, the craggy old witch, all creased up. Try it yourself. 3D creased art.
Clear side.
When you're creating a picture, do you sometimes have difficulty trying to decide which art materials to use? I mean, there are so many of them. Pens, pencils, crayons, wax crayons, chalks, pastels, coloured paper, white paper. And yet, they're all good for different things. Well, here's a bit of fun. Why not use all of them? A sort of mixed materials picture. Okay, what about the good old pencil? Now, the great thing about pencils is you can just sketch very quickly with them and put in rough shapes of your picture. And then when you've actually finished your picture, if you're not too happy with the shapes, you can alter them. You can even rub the pencil out at the end. And what about the good old paint? Well, the obvious thing that's good about paint is that you can cover big areas with colour very quickly. And I'm just using ordinary watercolour paint. Of course, the disadvantage to paint is you've got to wait for it to dry. That should be okay. It's quite hot in here anyway. That's it. Okay, what about marker pens? Well, again, the obvious advantage to marker pens is that you can cover big areas very quickly. And if you use permanent markers...
Okay, guys, I will see you
they go
guys
over
tomorrow with
absolutely
part
anything.
5.